guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm afraid it is a very short video that I have for you this week, but I did just want to make sure that I put something out there. So no surprise to you all, but I have been book shopping again. So a couple of days ago we made a last minute decision to quickly jump on the train and go over to Middlesbrough, which is a neighbouring town that has slightly better selection of shops, only just, and I can't go to Middlesbrough without making sure I go for a trip to Waterstone's bookshop. Upon entering Waterstone's bookshop, my husband said, pick anything you want. He gave me a price range. I had £30 that I could spend. So after a lot of browsing, because when somebody says pick what you want on the spot, as fantastic as that is, my brain suddenly went panic mode, because I could not recall a single book that I currently had sat on my TBR, books that I knew I wanted. I didn't have a picture of them, and it took me quite some time to find something that I really wanted and that I knew that I did not already have. The last thing I wanted to do was have my husband buy me a book that I already owned. So I'm going to show you the two books that I got from Waterstones. One of the things that I knew I desperately wanted was my ever-growing Jacqueline Wilson collection. Now, I had to sort of really think hard because I couldn't recall the books that I did and didn't have. But I did know I don't have a lot of the brand new books that have been coming out probably over the last 2 or 3 years. So because I was working on collecting all the older books, she has released a few new books over the last few years, and I ended up picking this book. So this one is called The Girl Who Wasn't There, and I believe, let me check, this came out in 2014, and I knew that I definitely did not have this copy of this book. So that is the first book I picked, and this book was £7.99 in English pounds. And for some reason it tells me the Canadian dollars, and if it would have been £16.99 in Canadian dollars. But it cost me £7.99, and I'm super excited to have another Jacqueline Wilson book to add to my collection on my top shelf. Just here you can see the top shelf where it's growing slightly. So once I'd done with the Jacqueline Wilson section, I had a really good wander around. I started just looking around and deciding what did I want, what did I really want, and then something jumped out at me, and my husband spotted it, picked it up for me. And for those of you who have followed the channel for a while, you might remember my excitement over the Laurie Gilmore book, specifically the Dream Harbour book, so like Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the Cinnamon Bookshop, those kind of books. So what my husband found was there's a copy of that series called The Christmas Tree Farm, and my husband found a gorgeous special edition hardback version of this book with sprayed edges. Now I grabbed it, and I must admit I kept hold of it and carried that around the shop with me for quite some time. And then when I got to the till, I decided to ask the lady if she actually had the first one, which is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Now my reasoning for this was, I thought if I'm going to collect the special editions, I'd rather get the first one as the first book, and then every time I go, I will just pick up the new special edition hardback copies. And I was not disappointed. So here it is. This is the hardback copy of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So here's the front. Here's the back. The artwork is absolutely stunning. And here are the sprayed edges. How pretty are they? And it goes all the way around the top, and it goes around the bottom, so it's complete sprayed edges. So when I picked it up, I fell in love with it. The artwork, as you can see, I just think the artwork is absolutely beautiful. It is stunning. And it wasn't until I got home and took off the dust jacket that I fell even more in love with this book. So I'm going to show you what this book looks like without the dust jacket on. You ready? How beautiful is this? And as you can see, it's iridescent foiling, so all the pumpkins are golden foiling. It's absolutely gorgeous. And on the spine, I just love it. I'm sort of tempted to display it like this with the pumpkins on display. I absolutely adore this. Then it got better because on the inside there is even more gorgeous artwork. I mean, look at that. I love the fact that it says Logan's Farm. It is absolutely gorgeous. And then you have the same artwork on the back as well, in the back of the book. These are absolutely beautiful editions of this. So I am absolutely going to be collecting the rest of the hardbacks, which does mean that I'll potentially sell my paperback copies. So keep an eye out for that. If I do sell them, I'll advertise them on my Facebook page, and I'll probably also put them on my Vinted page. So if you're not following me on Facebook or on Vinted, consider doing that now if you want to get your hands on a cheap copy of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the near future. So this is, oh, I'm just in love with this book. And this book cost, hold on, let's have a look. This book cost £20 in UK British money. In the US, it would have been $32, and in Canada, it would have been $39.50, which I think is a really good price for these hardback editions, and I just love the sprayed edges. And I've got one more book to show you, because the reason this video is coming out to you a little later this week, because I have got a Monday posting schedule, but this is likely coming out to you on Wednesday, and we are a few days late because Freida McFadden re-released one of her books again, and I just had to go and pick it up. Now this just came out today, so I went to the works. So she's re-released Brain Damage, and this is a sprayed edge edition. So the top and the bottom are just the orange colour to match the font on the book, but the sides are gorgeous. So as you can see, the sides are a hospital band, and if I bring that closer, you'll be able to see it says, "Who wants me dead?" and it's got some blood dripping. I think these sprayed edge books are just gorgeous. So yes, of course, I had to wait for this video so that I could grab Freida's new book and make sure that I had the sprayed edge copy. So they're the three books that I've managed to pick up this week. I am still in the process of filming the books that I read in January of this year. That video will be out as soon as I've got it finished. The video is a little chaotic. I'm filming it bit by bit on different days because I did read quite a lot of books in January. So you will notice in that video that there's quite a few clothing changes when I've changed over from filming from one day to the next. But that is coming out very, very soon. You might be lucky. I might get it out for you next week if I do not go book shopping again. So with that being said, that is all I have for you this week, guys. I'm going to put these books on my shelf, and I will see you in another video next week. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.